Hi, everyone. Welcome to Green Adventuring Tarot. This is Gigi. I'm very happy and excited to have episode 2 launching as we speak. Today is Saturday, and I'm very happy to have you all join us. And I have an amazing guest. This is Jackie from Jackie's Crystal Moon. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, delighted to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And Jackie and I had some technical issues, and she was so gracious and lovely. So I want to really thank you for being here. I know all the way from Ireland too. So this is
Yes,
it's a beautiful kind of, I love this. And I'm in,
long distance.
yes, yes. And I'm up in the mountains in Montana, and I'm looking right out at the Missouri River, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's quite cold
Mm.
here. It's actually about 50 degrees here, Fahrenheit. So I don't know what is that in Celsius?
I haven't a clue. I don't know.
It's fall weather.
Yeah, it's the same here
Autumn.
anyway. It's the same here.
It's the same. And overcast, yeah.
Yeah.
And good, good. Well, I feel good. I took my vitamin D because, of course, we have so little sunlight right now. I live off. It's an IV drip of vitamin D. So, well, Jackie, I'm so happy you're here. This is a new format for me. I usually do readings, and I do astro readings and pick a cards, and
Okay.
I love that format, and that's what got me hooked to YouTube. But I really felt like I wanted to do more. And this is my opportunity to really get to know other people in our community. And I've stumbled across you quite a few times being interviewed and interviewing people
Cool.
and showing new decks and doing some mystery crime stuff. It's really amazing.
Yes.
I feel like you really are really, you're like me. You like all sorts of topics. You don't just stick with the same. You really like to
Yeah.
have fun.
Yeah.
So tell me a little
Absolutely.
bit about your channel.
So I started it. I actually had to check back there through my channel earlier to see, because I started learning tarot in January of 2018, and it was April 2019, so just over a year later, that I started posting videos on YouTube. Now, the very first day I didn't show myself, I only started recording. I'd been up in the mountains and we'd collected like stones with
Yeah.
crystals through them. So I just made a video showing them. And the very next day I thought, what the hell are you afraid of? Show yourself. So I made another recording the
Good
next day.
for you.
Yeah, like I thought it was going to go on and on for weeks, that I was going to be too shy. But the very next day I thought, get over yourself and record yourself on the camera. And I did. And I haven't looked back. But it was only last August then, not August 2 months ago, but August last year, that I started doing lives for the first time.
Okay.
And I'm hooked.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great. And you have such a beloved, and I'm one of them. So I know, I feel like,
Yeah.
I feel like I discovered, because I grew up in California. So it's like we discovered a lot of bands first, and then we have
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
ownership over it. So I feel like I love going on your because you know that I'm there. When you go on
Yeah.
some channels that have trillions, you're like, oh, hi. And they don't
That's
even
the
notice that
thing.
you're there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few people on that I was watching on Instagram, and like that now I'd say hello from Ireland. How is everyone? I know Mudancia, and I just started to unfollow them because I had no interest. I like to, like you said now, like when I'm doing my own lives, acknowledge everyone that comes into the chat. But if I'm on someone else's live, then I like to be acknowledged as well. So I tend to just stop watching
Yeah.
people if I don't get acknowledged. I just think it's nice to actually know who's watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I love the combination of you and Heather and the lovely lady from the Midwest. I
Rain.
love you guys. Rain, I just love all of
Yeah.
you. I just the
Yeah.
blend of you guys and all distinctively different, but yet you blend to beautiful. It's so synergistic. And I just
Good.
really, so everyone, I have her links below. Please like, subscribe to me, of course, and to Jackie's Crystal Moon. It is really a treat if you really want that kind of like singer-songwriter intimate feeling of someone, and you're really
Oh,
enjoying the readings, and it feels like you're actually sitting with you. It feels really great. I
good. I
remember
love it.
reading who was who was it? Oh, remember the singer from the 90s? Do you remember Jewel? The
I
singer
don't
from California,
think,
Jewel. She
I don't know. No, I don't. It's not familiar.
saying that, not familiar. Okay, she was saying that when she first came out, she, before she got a record deal, she would just have play in this one cafe, and my dad lived down the road, and he would go see her every now and then, and it was so
Wow.
great because everyone got to enjoy this. It's like seeing, way before they were famous.
Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
she loved,
Oh,
she missed that wonderful feeling of like, oh hey Joe, oh hey John, like all the people are,
yeah.
and then she would do her set,
Connection with people.
so I feel like I
Yeah,
get to know you. Yeah, it's so great. I get to know you
good.
now before you get a trillion subscribers. So
I love it.
so Jackie, it's true. So will you tell me about a wonderful deck that you've been loving lately and that you've been using, and one of your decks that you adore?
So now I don't have the box on me, but it is called. Many of you will know Jamie Sawyer anyway. She's on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everything. This is called the 1909 RWS Sawyer Redux Edition. So she started off as she still is a tarot, or oh my god, what's the words? A tattoo artist is what I'm trying to say. She still is a
Oh,
tattoo
oh,
artist,
tattoo.
but
Okay.
yeah, but she was being asked to do so many tarot tattoos that she ended up learning tarot and then creating tarot decks and Lenormand decks and oracle decks. I think she has oracle decks as well. And then she made the most divine, and I'm waiting for them to come in the post, tarot tiles. So she condensed these images down into little hexagonal wooden tiles. They are just
Beautiful.
stunning.
Oh,
And yeah, I'm waiting for them.
gorgeous.
I can't contain my excitement. But this is the regular size. She's also back on Kickstarter at the moment doing funding for a reprinting of these, but she's making a mini deck as well. I have tiny hands and my hands get quite sore from because I'm constantly shuffling cards. I'm so obsessed. So she's making a mini version of this,
I
thank God.
love it.
But she has a beautiful little
That's
mandala look
great.
on the back with her this
Oh,
little sigil here is a J and an S for Jamie Sawyer. So they're the most
beautiful.
beautiful, beautiful cards. Like the color in them is just look at this. So she said that
Oh, oh, I see what
when-
you mean. Oh,
yeah, when people come to her for a tattoo, right? She said they'd have an image and she often has to like clean up the line work, make it possible to actually draw it as a tattoo. So she redrew all the line
right.
work in all these images and she kind of made colors more vibrant. And then, as you can see, she put these amazing mandalas in the background and she has the astrological symbols for each card hidden in that mandala as well.
Wow.
So they're
That is
just
lush,
absolutely stunning.
and
I am obsessed.
it almost looks like a painting. It has that sort of,
Yeah.
wonder what her medium, how she creates these. Does she do all digital, or does she do analog? I wonder. It's beautiful.
Oh, that no, I don't know.
Gorgeous.
Um,
Just lovely. Look at that. Look at
see
that.
the
Oh,
astrological symbols there in the mandala. I mean, they're just and
oh,
there's things now I can see in the cards that I haven't even seen before. Like in the Fool card, for example, you know the bag that he has over his back on the wooden stick. There's actually an image of an eagle's head on the bag, which I never knew was there until I got this deck.
oh, interesting. So
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
really, oh, okay. Now deep dive into her work. Thank you. Oh, I
yeah.
love it. And then I have another question for you. What deck did you think that you would love, but you didn't connect with? Did you have a certain deck
Oh,
that you, I have several,
I know
but
I couldn't even name one. I have had loads. I I'm not someone
yeah,
who goes and purchases irresponsibly. I do like to watch a deck review
okay,
a lot of times
smart.
before I purchase. However, you
Yeah.
can still actually get a deck, and when you physically have it, you just don't bond with it for whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I do, like, if I have a deck there for about 6 months and I haven't been using it, or I just don't, for whatever reason, like it, I do
Hmm.
either gift it on if someone has a birthday, or I sell them on. So I'm
Yeah.
just
Good.
constantly buying and selling and buying and selling.
The circle of life. The
Yes,
circle,
yes,
the Tarot circle of
absolutely.
life.
Yeah,
I know. And
I'm
it's funny,
de
when I started dating my husband, he had the before tarot.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
seen that? The before,
I have.
it's really
Yeah.
interesting. And I thought that was very endearing. I thought, ooh, he has tarot cards. That's cool. And but I love it. It's great, but it doesn't really like I don't get excited about it like I do other decks, but I like it.
Yeah,
It's a
I
neat
know.
concept. And then
Yeah.
there's the after tarot and the lovely.
I did have the after tarot, and I had what was it? Was it not the vice versa tarot? There's another one. Oh my God. There's another one that it's not, it's looking from the back of the
Oh,
images.
um,
Um
it's yes. Gosh, yes, I know which one you're talking about. That's a great one.
yeah.
And if somebody that's watching, would you put it in the comments below? It's really cool because it's from first person. No, it's from like looking backwards onto
It's
the
it's
scene,
directly
right?
behind the main
Yeah,
character in each card, yeah. If when
right.
I have it downstairs, I'm actually selling it because, like that, no, I thought it was a great idea, but I got it and
Yeah,
I didn't really use it, So, and I'm not into having them on the shelf collecting dust. I want ones that I use, like so. But I'll put the name in the comments when it's posted.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also, I have a quick question about do you do private readings? I know that on your channel you were doing workshops, but do you also do you do things in live and in person? That's a
I
good
do.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah, do you do things?
yeah. Um, See, I thought when I initially started learning tarot, I thought I only wanted to do one-to-one in-person readings, because I just
Yeah,
had it in my head that that's the only possible
yeah,
way it could
yeah,
really work. But I was doing a course the first year of lockdown,
yeah.
and obviously a lot of it ended up on Zoom, and I realized that spiritual things can actually happen through a computer. So what I did was, like, if
Yeah,
people are further away from me and they want tarot readings, I just record a video and I post privately to YouTube and send them the link, and it works just as well. It's amazing. So I do both.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's opened a lot of our eyes around, lockdown really changed, you know, it really shifted our whole perception of what, for lack of a better word, what's intimate or what's intimacy is. We can
Yeah,
still have that connection without it
we can.
being, because
Yeah.
I the same way. I was a super fan. I mean, I have to admit, I was a big fan on YouTube. I remember in like 2014 and 16 and 17, I had like my religiously watching, whatever it was at that time that I loved. I was a big fan, and I still am, of San Tarot. She's a Canadian, San Tarot.
Okay.
She just goes
Let's
way
look.
out there. I mean, trippy, super trippy, and she'll talk about alien. It was fabulous, fabulous.
Oh.
And that was sort of my little treat. I'd get off work, take my daughter to school, get off work, whatever it was, that was my treat.
Oh
And
wow.
so I know that feeling, what it
Yeah,
feels like to have a connection online. It feels great. But for
it does.
myself, I always I read cards for everyone since I was a teenager, and I charged every now and then, because I it so long, but it never occurred to me that I could do the thing that I admired so much. You know what I mean? It was weird. I never
Yeah.
quite, and then I just woke up one day. Today's the, and I started recording. Did you have that moment where you just were like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
I did, yeah. Well, actually, do you know what? Another good story, tarot related story, obviously. I was only learning about a month.
Yeah.
And I was learning from watching lots of YouTube, but I was also calling over to my neighbor's house, only 2 doors away, and teaching her while I was learning, right? And she started buying tarot decks. And
Wow.
one night, yeah, and one night she sent me a text and she said, "Are you at home?" I said, "I am." She said, "Are you busy?" I said, "I'm not." "Why?" She says, "I have a client here. She's a hairdresser. She said she'd love a tarot reading." And I said, "You know as
Yeah.
much as me, like, why don't you do it?" "Oh God, no," she says, "I wouldn't have the confidence." I said, "All right, boil the kettle, I'll be over." So I went over and she put out a cup of tea, the bribery,
Yeah.
and she said, this is my friend Mary, let's call her in case she watches this because she's been watching my channel lately. She'll know anyway. But she says, "I've never had a reading before. What do we do?" So I shuffle the cards, I spread them out. At the time, I didn't want anyone touching my cards, so I only let her pick the cards. So I said, "We'll do 3 card, past, present, future." So I'll never forget it. I had the Nine of Pentacles in the past, I had the Six of Swords, and I had the Hermit. So I said, "That's weird." And my
Ooh.
friend said, "What?" I says, "You in the past, the Nine of Pentacles is showing you living a life of luxury, with all the money and wealth and abundance that you needed." But I said, "Six of Swords is you in the present and you needing to move, you're moving on from that." I said, "That's strange." Like, and my friend said to me, "Don't you know who she is?" And I said, "No, sorry." I said, "I have no clue who you are." Turns out she was the wife of someone well known, but they had divorced 3 years before, but they were still very good friends. They separated amicably, and he was still looking after her. She was still in the house, and he was looking after her financially and all the rest of it. And I said, "Look, these cards are showing that you need to move away from living under him, basically, And with the Hermit card in the future, I said, like, you need introspection. You need to take time out on your own and figure out who you are and what you want to do going forward." And it turns out, like, she's amazing at the same thing that he's well known for. And she's now doing that in her own right. And she was a quite well, at least I felt she was a very quiet, introverted person. And now she's involved in everything in the town and she's doing her own work and all the rest of it. So it was just amazing. And I was only learning a month and I thought, "Oh my God, I can do this.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jackie,
it,
that's a
it was
really cool.
cool.
Oh my God. I love
It
that.
was cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. What's interesting is there was another mom in my group and we sort of were kind of, how other moms in the school, you're not, but our kids were getting older and we were kind of, becoming abandoned. Our teenagers were like going away. So she would call me every now and then. I think she was bored. I don't think, we didn't have very much in common. And she was dating. She was divorced and she was dating. And she said, "Do you have time for a reading?" And it was literally out of the blue. And I
Oh,
thought, okay. And so she said, "Don't call me. I'm going to tell you the whole story." She texted me the story. And it was somebody she had met online that was on a dating website. And they had maybe 2 dates.
okay.
That's it. And so I knew nothing about, we weren't close. So I didn't know any details,
Yeah,
which helps a lot.
it
And
does.
so she said, he said that he's busy this weekend with traveling for work and it doesn't feel right. I want you to do a reading on it and tell me what will happen in the future. And I do that. So, I'm owning that. A lot of readers don't. So I said, let me tune in to that. And so I sat very quietly. My daughter was off at her dad's house. I was totally in a great space. And it was the most, and I'm sorry, I don't
Mm.
remember the cards, but the message, it precisely with the cards that I think I pulled. Yeah, I pulled past, present, future, and 2 more on top of the future.
Right.
It said that he's lying. This isn't true. He's got another person lined up,
Wow.
and he may possibly even be married. And so
Oh,
she got back to me. She said, "Thank you so much. My instincts felt right." She got back to me maybe a week later and she said, "I found out that he was engaged." Yes, and dating
Jesus.
on this website.
Oh my
And that
God.
uh, she said, "You were close with the work thing." They knew each other at work. And so that's
Huh.
where I got that. So he was
Yeah.
leaving technically to go to work, but he was being with her with what, you know what I mean? And then I said, I'm so sorry to tell you, but he just does not sound like a real straight shooter. This doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
And she later said, because you don't know. And I didn't want to be negative, because this is someone who's her heart, this is vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
tell her, I thought
Huh.
it was like real negative energy, like the upside down emperor and some really shady Seven of Swords kind of energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so that's good. It's sort of a
Wow.
confirmation that
Is it
we're
this?
tuning in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. So that story is absolutely magical. So interesting. And so does she do private readings with you, if you don't mind me asking? Does she do private readings on a
Not
regular basis?
not since no, not since, but when recently
Yeah.
when I was advertising for one of the tarot workshops, she messaged me and she said she'd love to have done it, but I don't know, she'd been in the hospital and had some sort of a minor procedure and she was um on bed rest or whatever for a while. So she said, will you please keep me in uh in mind when you further events, and let me know about them. Because she'd love to join, So yeah, it was cool. So we're still chatting out
That's
again, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That is really cool. I
It
love
was. It was.
that.
It was. It was just
So,
epic. Yeah.
and do you want to tell, do you have any other stories about tarot that you want to share before we wrap it up? I would love to know if you have some more. I'd love to hear.
Well, my other favorite one was
Yeah.
back in January of 2018, which is when I started learning tarot, and it was actually a case of tarot came to me because I had
Mhm.
oracle decks for
Mhm.
years, but
Uh-huh.
I decided I wanted an animal deck because I love animals, but I decided I wanted an animal deck. So
Mm.
I think I Googled animal oracle decks, but random images came up and I
Mhm.
found these pretty images. I don't even have the deck now. I can't tell you what it's called, but um, I ordered the deck anyway from Amazon or whatever at the time. And it was only the next day
Uh-huh.
when I was looking at it again that I realized it was 78 cards. And I thought, oh, hold on now, this isn't an oracle deck at all. This is a tarot deck. I didn't even realize. I just saw the pretty images and I ordered it. So
Yeah, yeah.
the next day again, I was in the car at school waiting for children. I was reading, do you know Kyle Gray, the angel expert? He's Scottish. He's a lot of books under Hay House and oracle decks and stuff and angel decks
Yes.
and stuff. Yeah. So I was reading one of his books and he was telling the story of a guy who came to him looking for guidance in his life. So he told him to sit down and call on Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel to guide him. So I thought, right. I sat there and I was like, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, I've just accidentally ordered a tarot deck. I now need
Awesome.
to find some, yeah, like
Yeah.
I now need to find someone to teach me tarot because I had no clue where to look, no clue, because
Mhm.
tarot wasn't on
Mhm.
my radar. Like I was into oracle decks,
Yeah.
so got out of the car and walked over to the school, and I was texting a friend of mine because we were signed up for a 6 week angel classes with a friend of mine. So like it
Yeah.
was each week was connecting with the angels or angel cards, pendulums, crystals, bit of everything, right? So we were texting each other about that, and I met another friend of mine, Anne, and Anne said, "What's so funny?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just texting my friend. We're signing up for angel classes." And she said, "Are you into all that kind of stuff?" And I said, "Oh God," I said, "I'm obsessed with all things spiritual." I said, "I just ordered a tarot deck, not even realizing what it was." And I said, "I have no clue how to read them, and I need to find someone to teach me." And she said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "What?" She says, "I'm a certified tarot reader and teacher."
Wow. Get out of town.
And she was in the middle of organizing a workshop, so we did it a week later. It was
Oh my
just
God.
it was just epic, Gigi. Epic.
Uh, Jackie, I love that story. Now, how did you know her again? I missed that part. She was another mom? No, she
Well,
was.
well, I knew her at the time from a cafe. She was a waitress in a
Oh,
cafe that I went to every day. So that's where I met her, but I used to talk to her then up at school when collecting our daughters.
that is so
So
great. Love that.
talk about meant to be, like,
I know. Isn't that
you know?
amazing? I
Yeah,
love.
I love it.
Well, let's see. what is one of your favorite cards before we go? I would love to know. Do you have a, oh, it is.
My
It's the death
absolute
card.
favorite is the death card. I'm
Ah,
obsessed with the death card. I get
yes.
very
Yes.
excited when I see the death card because I mean it's all
Yeah.
about I think the reason
Yeah.
I am so obsessed with the death card, obviously they always say your most favorite and your least favorite cards are things that are important to you right now, kind of a thing.
Right.
And I
Right.
suppose the last few years in particular, um, I've been kind of doing more and more spiritual workshops of all kinds. Like I did a shamanic drum making day where we did rapé. I don't
Mm,
know if you know it. It's a powder that's shot up into your nose and it kind of grounds you and helps you for meditation. It's a shamanic medicinal powder, you know. I've done
uh-huh.
all sorts of crazy things I'd never thought I'd do,
Great. I
you know.
love it. That's
Yeah.
great.
Like I'm obsessed with buying crystals, pendulums, pendulum boards. I have a magic
Yeah.
wand that a cousin's husband in the UK, who I've never met, made specially for me. I have loads of stuff. So
Wow. I
I just
love
think
it.
there's
What
been a
were
lot
the
of
things
change.
that you had on your neck? I saw
Here we go, look.
online. You had the, oh, there they are. No, tell me what those are again. What are those?
That's
They're
it.
they're beautiful.
So so this is the thing. So that powder now that I was talking about, rapé, it's a
Yeah.
shamanic it's from the tribes in the Amazon. So you'd scoop it into one end, the shorter end goes into your mouth and the longer end into your nostril, and you blow and it shoots straight up into your nostril. And it's
Wow.
now there's loads of different rapés, what different there you are. You keep going off screen. Oh, you're there. There's loads of different rapé powders for different effects. You know, one to help you connect more spiritually, one's to ground you. I ordered one now. It's a feminine energy one, so it's all about like emotional healing and connecting spiritually and all these kind of things. So I haven't got it yet, but I have tried it only once. Now I was very very dizzy from it, but obviously with anything, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, you know. But that's I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's curape or curipi or something. But yeah, you put the powder into one end and you up and blow it up into your nose, and it calms you and grounds you for spiritual connection and meditation and everything. So yeah, I think that's why the death card is so important to me, because it's all about change. It's all about letting things go, and I've had to let things go the last few years, making way for the new, you know. So my favorite.
That is the most amazing story. I love that because I somebody was telling me about their ayahuasca experience, which I know is different than this experience, but
Yeah,
that whole process of using plant medicine to get, oh, I love that. Oh,
amethyst in the end, and it's actually rutilated. You can see, well, you can't really see, but you can see little black threads in it. It's absolutely
beautiful.
gorgeous. And
Oh,
it's the guy, Alex Ray is his name. He's Discover Your Heart now on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the rest of it. He's from Colombia, but he lives
yeah.
in Gran Canaria, but he's in Ireland a lot doing retreats and stuff. And it was with him I did the shamanic drum making, and he did rapé with us, but he had a long copper pipe and he blew it up into our nose nostrils himself. But he was selling these as well, like his tribe in Colombia make these especially for him. um
Beautiful.
and he has his own rapé powders as well, so I have the rapé powder on the way. But it's absolutely beautiful. But they're
That
the
is,
ayahuasca symbols, I'm told.
oh, is it? Okay. That's the ayahuasca symbol. Okay. So
Yeah,
I would imagine that any
love
kind of
it.
plant medicine that takes you to another, helps you follow that consciousness. I mean, of course, ayahuasca is the one that's common now, but I'm sure there's many.
Yeah.
Like because I used to work in the vitamin and supplement world, and
Okay.
the what's the one in Fiji? The one where they pound it and they just sip and they pass it around.
Is that cacao? No.
Kava kava. That's it, kava kava.
Okay. Okay.
And it has it's very numbing. It's almost like it puts you in a different consciousness. It
Okay.
is yeah, when you it has an odd tingly feeling when you sip it, and then you
Oh,
can buy it in the tincture form. And but it's so funny, in America, the Samoans bring it with them when they come. In
oh
America, it's
wow.
very common. A lot of Samoans, because they're really huge people, they come
Yeah.
they're on the football teams. And so they drink it, and the
Wow.
coach have to tell them, don't drink kava kava
Oh
before the
God.
game. They're not as much into drink or smoke, but they like the kava
Yeah.
kava. Yeah, so
Yeah. Oh wow.
it just gives you that, like, where you're more open to
Yeah. Yeah.
all the wonderful messages and the collective energy that you guys are feeling. That's so
I'm looking forward, all right, to getting my rapé now and trying it again. I've only done it the one time now. I was extremely dizzy, and we were sitting cross-legged,
cool.
and there was about 20 of us in the room, and the first few people that had done it were all crying, and I looked at my friend and I was like, Jesus Christ, do we actually want to do this?
Oh, they were in their trip. Yeah, in their
Yeah.
journey.
But
Yeah.
I had no crying or anything, but I just felt as if I was standing and was about to just collapse to the ground dead. I was so unbelievably dizzy. It was just insane.
Wow.
And I remember just saying, "Can I lie down?" And he was like this.
And he was helping you. He let you. Yeah, you guys just relaxed.
Yeah, they just tell you, sit with it and take your deep breaths and whatnot.
Work
Like,
through
and
it.
it was great. At least I had no other side effects, because I know people do crazy things like vomiting and all sorts, but I didn't have any of that. Thank God, I was okay. Just the dizziness, which I got over.
Oh, good. Oh, that's so
But yeah,
interesting. I love that. I love.
yeah,
Um, Let me ask you one more question before we go. I always
right.
like to ask because I always use music in my shorts. I love music and I'm such a music fan. Do you have a favorite song right
Oh
now?
Lord,
Several? I know I don't
you
mean to
know,
put you on the spot. Sorry.
um, I'm trying to. It's one that I have to say. Oh God, I have two. Okay,
Okay.
um, there's a dance song from the 90s. "Be My Lover," La Bouche. I love that tune.
Would you
I
be It's like a dance song, like just
Yes, yeah, I'm obsessed with that tune. I
okay.
have that on a dance playlist on Spotify, and I
Uh-huh.
bang that out in the car. But another one I really love is from Dirty Dancing, but it's the slow one when she's up in his apartment with him. When your baby
Oh yeah.
leaves you all alone. Do you know that? I love that.
Yeah.
What a song!
It's
Like,
like it's originally from the 60s.
it
It's like
is
yeah.
a fella called Dion, 1952, I think. Actually, when
Oh,
I
oh, it's 50s. Okay.
think
Yeah.
so. But the one I watch on the version of it that I watch on YouTube is by some fella, a very pretty I want to say Portuguese guy. Alvarez is his surname. I'll share it on my posts later.
Okay.
It's the most gorgeous version of it. He is incredible. So
Oh,
I
I
love
love
that song
that.
too. But
That
I love loads of music, but they're two of my favorites.
Oh, I love that. That's very old school. That's very
Yeah.
retro. That's very Housewives Tarot. That's very
Oh, I love it.
Ten of Cups. I love that imagery. In fact,
Oh,
this deck was probably, I think this is one of my older decks, my Housewives Tarot. It's nice and dog-eared and old, and I just
oh
love it.
yeah.
And it's been thrown in my purse and, sort of taken on holiday.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Has to
But
be done.
this one, but it's sassy. So I have to be, if I'm feeling
Okay.
sensitive, I don't ask it a question.
Okay.
It's like it's sort of the bitchy friend, it's
Right.
the very bitchy friend. So I only ask it when I'm feeling very strong.
I love that.
It's the friend that's like, are you gonna wear that? It's that friend, it's that
Are
friend.
you serious?
You're like, I thought it looked pretty good. Oh, okay. Um,
Brilliant.
but I do love that deck. And yeah, and then there's another one. Do you know Mother Peace Tarot? Have you ever? It's
That's
a
a
round.
circular deck. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
very
I haven't seen it, but I know of it. Yeah.
yeah, it's very 70s, very early 80s. And I think I got that as a teenager and it was way out of my
Oh,
league. I was not
yeah.
ready for that deck.
Yeah.
I had it for a long time and I learned a lot because in their world, the circle, they don't believe in an upright or a down. They believe that
Oh,
sometimes you're leaning towards this and sometimes you're leaning towards that. So I liked that message. I thought that
yeah.
circular feminine, I liked that energy.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the first ones that I really tried to, but I needed to just go back to Rider Waite Smith and just start from the beginning. That's one of
Yeah.
the dangers of jumping into a deck that's, a bit much, when you're
Absolutely.
too young to absorb it. Just like
Yeah.
watching an intellectual film when you're a kid, you're like, huh? You know,
Yeah.
what are they talking about, mom? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, well, good. So anything coming up? I want to hear, what are you guys up to coming up?
I have asked some awesome people, some well-known tarot readers and deck creators and whatnot, to do lives with me. So just waiting to pin them down now for for the actual lives, because I have done a few. Like myself and Heather interviewed Sasha Graham. I love her. She is just
Wow,
awesome.
that's
Yeah.
great.
And I interviewed Danilo Sanino. He did the Cheeky Tarot. It was on Kickstarter there. It was last year, I think. It's just a beautiful, beautiful deck.
Oh, nice. That's great.
It's kind of cartoon images of the Rider-Waite Smith. It is just the
Oh,
cutest. I love it.
wow.
So, oh yeah, I interviewed him. He was cool. He had never been on YouTube or anything before, so he was a bit shy, but by the end of it, he was addicted. We had a great chat.
That's great. I love it.
So
Oh,
yeah, so we'll be back now next week to my usual Tuesday night live with Heather and Rain on Rain's channel. And there's a few other people now that I had asked to do lives, but like a lot of people seem to be moving at the moment for whatever's going on over there
I
in
know.
America.
Well, the weather,
So
it's not extremely hot or extremely cold. It's that nice sort of, you know what I mean, Irish
yeah,
weather right now.
yeah, yeah.
And it's no snow yet, most places, except up on big mountain tops, there's
Oh
no
yeah,
no
yeah.
snow. Yeah, so you
So I'm
can you
just
can
waiting
drive
to pin a
big.
few people down.
Yeah. Now
But I have exciting ones coming up.
okay, and what about locally? Are you doing your are you gonna be doing your workshops this winter, or are you gonna
We
take a break and do them in the
Oh
spring?
no. No, well we've only started recently, like, so we've one scheduled now for November 9th, in the hotel in Cove, where we did a workshop last month, I think it was. And I started a new job today, and my boss, I asked him for a job and a room to use at the same time.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so he's actually given us a room upstairs in his building. He didn't want to leave us into the cafe, which is fair enough. That didn't bother me. I never even thought to ask him for an upstairs room because he doesn't use the rooms
Yeah.
upstairs in the building. So he said, "Look, I'll have to clear it out. I might have to paint it." I said, "Look, I'll come in. I'll help you clear it out. I'll paint it. I'll do whatever I have to." And even Saoirse said, "We can bring in our own stuff then and make it our own if he's letting us use it." So we want to actually set up like a weekly spiritual circle. So
Wow.
we get because people have asked for it on Facebook, you see, in our hometown. So we'll just get a gathering of people, ask them what they want to know, and then have a topic each week that we can discuss. And they'll just come and pay like €10 just to kind of give him a few bob rent or whatever. And obviously to give us a few bob for, our time. And just teach people different spiritual things every week. So can't wait.
Oh my God, that's literally you're describing
It's
any of our dreams.
it's
I
a
mean,
dream.
that is
It is.
like a dream come true.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just can't wait. Like, it's just perfect.
Oh, well, you have to keep us
Yeah.
posted, and I'll put
Oh, I
all your
will.
information below. So if people want to keep, and they can press the bell. So when you do post
Yes.
things, they can know about that. That's
Yeah,
beautiful. And also, I noticed you're on Instagram too. So do you want me to
I
put your
am.
Instagram link down below as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Instagram. I had a
yeah,
Facebook tarot page as well, but
yes,
I don't use it. So I'm only using my personal page now just to make events for our tarot workshops, but I don't use my tarot Facebook page. Facebook is a bit annoying to me. I'd love to come off it, but the events are handy. But I
yes.
prefer Instagram. I love Instagram and YouTube, obviously. My
And I
favorite.
love I love all the wonderful tarot updates and everything, on Instagram. It's so fast,
It
and
is. It
you're like,
is.
ooh, Kickstarter, ooh, this, ooh, that, ooh, USA Games, da 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 da, and then
Yeah.
sometimes I have to take a break. It's too much,
Yeah.
sometimes, but I
I
love
I'm on a Facebook group on yeah, on Facebook. I'm on a tarot group on Facebook. I can't even talk. And people keep putting up Kickstarter links, and I literally just comment, "No, not looking."
Not today, Satan. Yeah, I know. It's like, it's so true. I know. I can't tell you. I bought this obscure, I'm really into like 50s and 60s imagery and mid-century stuff. And I bought
Okay.
this obscure Italian, it was on Kickstarter, Italian horror movie deck.
Oh, wow.
And it's fabulous, but it's so obscure that when I was doing readings with it, how do you describe
Yeah.
it was so bizarre. And I thought, I need to be a little more responsible, even though that deck, it's not the creator's fault, it's my fault, because that genre is so out there that it's
Yeah.
mostly for me to enjoy. And also I have a new wave, 80s new wave, because that's when I was a teenager, tarot deck. And that's also way out there. Not
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
gets those references to,
I know.
Kate Bush and In Excess, and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and
Oh.
then all the Irish, the Pogues, all that
Oh,
from
sure.
that era.
Wow. Huh.
And I have to tell you before we leave, when I was 13 years old and I had to do my chores at home, I would listen to U2's second album.
Oh.
It was either War or Boy. I think it was War, and I would vacuum to that whole entire
Oh.
album.
That's
And now,
gas.
of course, I'm sure to you they're old, fogies, but at the time they were quite young and quite handsome.
Ah,
And quite
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine. Come here, you just did a thumbs up there and it came up with a bubble. Is that only on your, that's only for
I,
you. Aw.
I saw that too. Wonder what that was, huh?
No, that's, you're on a
Oh,
paid version of StreamYard, are you?
no, this is the free one, huh? What did I do?
What? So how did you get a thumbs up bubble thingy?
I don't know.
I don't know, there's loads of other ones. I know people wave their hands around and
Are
get
they
like
do the
thunder
heart?
and lightning and all sorts. Oh, the heart is that? Oh,
Yeah,
look!
maybe I get it the first 30 days or something. I don't know.
How do you have that and I don't have
Yeah.
that?
Wait, we got to move some over to you here.
Oh, give me some.
I know. Here
It's
you
not
go.
working.
Here. Here.
I don't know what that's about. I never had that.
Now I'm
Oh,
bringing it over there.
look. Sorry, I get distracted easily.
I love it. So thank you. Oh, Jackie, I'm so happy we got to connect.
Yes,
No, we
yes.
had a lot going on in our lives, and I'm
Yeah,
so happy, you took some time out to be with me today, and I can't wait to let everybody know. This will be launched on Saturday morning for
cool.
everyone to see. And so I'll put it on my community page that we had a connection today. And,
Cool. Oh, I saw that earlier. Yeah,
oh, you
yeah.
saw it? Okay, good,
I
good.
did.
Did you like your photograph? I tried to
I
do it.
did.
Okay,
I
good.
did.
You're very beautiful. I had to make sure I didn't mess it up. You know what I mean? I had to. All right, my dear.
Come here. I do hope, before we wrap it up, I do hope you'll join me for a live on my channel soon, will you too? Because I just love doing lives. I love lives.
Oh, I'd love to. And can
Cool.
we read cards? Can I read
Yes.
some? Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. I'd
Yeah.
love it. Oh, I'd
We'll
love
do
it.
that. Nice
Yeah.
one. Perfect.
Okay. That sounds lovely.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, my dear. It was lovely meeting you. Thank you so much. I feel like I already knew you. I've known you, but I don't. It's
Yeah,
nice
I
to meet.
know. I know.
All right.
Good
Thank you
stuff.
so much. And thank you for being on episode 2. We
Yay.
really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.